Hello again. As promised, I'm back to talk to you a little bit more about APA format. I've almost got all of the APA assignments graded and returned. What hasn't been should be back to you all later tonight. It's just taking a little while. I have quite a few of you. So for APA format, some things to remember as far as setting up your essay. APA does call for a title page, and on your title page you should have your running head, which is the abbreviated version of your title that will appear in the upper left-hand header of each of your pages. On the title page it is labeled running head. You will not have running head labeling it on all of the other pages. Your name and the other information that goes in the middle of your title page you've seen in the examples. On subsequent pages you'll have the running head in the upper left side of the header and the page number on the right side of the header. The title page doesn't need to have a page number to my knowledge. APA also uses headings. For this first essay that you're writing, I've asked you to format it using IMRAD. IMRAD stands for Introduction, Methods, Results, and Discussion. It's similar to the kinds of lab report format. You may have written an essay for psychology or another similar class using this format. So for this essay, your introduction is where you would introduce your articles and give your thesis statement. In IMRAD, you do not give the introduction a heading. It's understood that you are going right into your introduction. You do not need an abstract for this essay. Reserve that for longer essays. When we do your observation report later this semester, you will create an abstract for that. In your method section, that's where you can discuss how you compared these two articles. And in the results section, you'll have your findings and then you'll have your discussion. Your discussion is essentially your conclusion for this essay. I understand that it seems a little strange to format rhetorical analysis similarly to a report or a scientific study, but I want you to get the practice of using the headings and formatting your essay properly for APA. Sources. I'm seeing some problems in citing sources, which I expected since this is the first go-round. Remember that when you're creating your references, it's the author's last name, a comma, and then the first initial and a period, and the second initial and a period if applicable. Then the year follows that in parentheses. If you are using a periodical that has a full date of publication, you would give a year, the comma, then the month and the day. You do not use title case for titles of articles or short works. You do not italicize those either. Reserve your italics for the name of the publication. For instance, those of you giving the reference for the CNN article, you should have had the name of the article in lowercase except for the first letter and any proper nouns, and then you should have had CNN or CNN Health italicized and using normal title case. Publication information, including the volume and issue, should also be included and italicized. The volume number goes just the number, and then the issue goes in parentheses. You do not need to put the words volume or VOL period. You just put the number of the volume and then the issue number in parentheses. Then you'll have a comma and the page numbers. There's no P period on the reference page. You just put the numbers. Next, you have either the retrieval information or the DOI. DOI stands for Digital Object Identifier. That's the long string of numbers you may have seen when you're looking at a journal article that you've accessed online or through the databases available through the library. Use the DOI when you have it. Otherwise, you'll use retrieve from and then give the stable URL if there is one. So those were the big things for the reference page. In-text citations. In APA, your in-text citation includes the author's last name. If you are working with 3 or more authors, you use the first author's last name and then ET space AL period, et al. You should treat the authors as plural when you refer to them this way in your text. So if I said Smith et al., I would say Smith et al. State, because I'm talking about more than one author. Anytime you introduce an author in your text, you do need to give the year of the work in parentheses. At the end of the sentence, if you've given the author or authors and the year at the beginning, your in-text citation would consist of the page number or the paragraph number if you're working with an online source that does not have pages and is very long. Otherwise, you would not need a citation there. Some of you did not give page numbers for your journal article. Remember that if you look at the PDF, you can see the page numbers and use those to cite. So those were the big issues that I saw in the APA exercises. I'll have the rest of those graded for you and returned later tonight, so if you haven't gotten yours yet, just hang on. I'll get it back as quick as I can. Trust me, I want to get it done with these as badly as you want to see the results. I was very lenient with the grading on these. That won't always be the case, so please learn from the mistakes and review the resources that you have at your disposal. If you have additional questions about APA that I have not addressed, please feel free to shoot me an email. I'll be glad to address them in the next video. I'll be back with another video on Thursday, probably around noon, maybe a little bit later, depending on how long it takes me to finish all this grading and see all of your checkpoints for the next week. So hang in there, keep working hard, and I will be back with another video for you all on Thursday. I hope you're having a good week, and I'll be back soon.